today I realized that I wanted to record my cacao ceremony. It's an important part of my daily ritual, daily ceremony, and what I would consider a ceremonial lifestyle. Being ceremonial, being intentional with everything that we do, maybe not everything, but just being more intentional overall with most of the things we do in our life, because there's a lot of unintentionality, a lot of mindlessness in our society, in our culture, that has created a lot of problems. And so I recognized, one, that I loved cacao so much when I started this journey, when I tried it the first few times, and the ceremony, I loved the ceremony. The people that held it at the time really just created this space that was like, oh, so we're just sitting in a circle having this hot chocolate, but way better than hot chocolate, and feeling our emotions and just being honest with ourselves, and that in itself is healing. What? It was so basic and simple, and the cacao grounded me. It put me in my body in a safe feeling way, in a way that felt like very here and present, which in earlier parts of my life, in different stages of my life, I did not feel very present. I wanted subconsciously to escape the present moment and to escape reality. And that took the form of addiction, and it took the form of just kind of spacing out a lot, like pretty much all the time, living kind of in a dream almost, sort of matrixy, honestly. So yeah, I'm going to set my intention for this cacao. And this is something I do because it it's like the foundation for the container. I like to think of cacao ceremony as a container, and not just a room that I'm in, but the energy that I'm creating in this like bubble of healing or processing or feeling or whatever, creativity. I like to do this and draw or wordsmith, come up with ideas. Sometimes it's basic. Sometimes it's just like processing crap through, that is accumulated in my house, like kind of more mundane. Sometimes it's profound. It just depends on how I'm feeling in the moment. And in this moment, I'm feeling the need I'm feeling like within myself, kind of like this background noise of people pleasing, because I know that people are going to see this, which is an aspect that I've been working on healing for a long time. But also I feel like I've been doing a really good job on releasing that shit lately, especially. Yeah, I've actually been releasing it a lot. I'm going to give myself some credit there. And on that note, speaking to myself with more love, more self-love, more kindness, compassion, something that helped me switch that was thinking of myself as like, it's like speaking to your inner child. How would you speak to a child? And it's different for everyone, obviously, but you try and be kind and nice and compassionate and understanding and patient, because kids don't know anything yet. Their minds haven't developed. So that's kind of like one of the starting points for me for how to how to shift the self-talk that I've had in the past, which is typically pretty negative and self-loathing. A lot of times very like unworthiness. It would produce a lot of feelings of unworthiness, or be produced by feelings of unworthiness and shame and guilt and not being good enough, XYZ, all that, which I think everyone's experienced some degree of. I'm going to set my intention now. I said that like 5 minutes ago. It's okay. So just to give you an idea of what a cacao ceremony is like, that's why I'm doing this. I forgot. But hold your cacao, your mug, close to your heart, or even touching your heart, and smell it. Take deep breaths, very deep breaths as you inhale the smell, the vapor, the spirit of cacao, which it is a spirit in a sense. I mean, everything has a spirit. All food, all people, all plants, everything. But the spirit of cacao is a very, very potent one. And smelling the cacao can sometimes bring the intention in, or open your heart enough where you can feel your intention being placed or puzzle pieced, or maybe not. Maybe it feels very aimless, and this happens for me sometimes. I don't really know what to intend. So I make it more general. I intend to be guided and supported in a way that is in my highest and purest good, and the highest and purest good of all beings. Thank you. And please help me set up this space. Angels, archangels, guardian angel, highest and purest spirit guides, aligned ancestors, ascended masters, call you into this space to please protect, guide, direct. I invite love, healing, abundance, wealth, truth, trust, joy, surrender into this space. Please give me the messages that are in my highest and purest good. Thank you. And I thank Mama Cacao, the spirit of cacao, and then you take a sip. I made it really strong this time. I did not use enough water this time. Actually, I did. I kind of believe in things being the way that they are for a reason. That's not everyone's cup of tea. If it's not yours, that's fine. Totally get it. But I have this belief system now that's like helped me learn to adjust to when things go wrong. In that nothing is wrong. And not even that everything is right, just that it is. And the wrong or problem or issue or whatever is put in your path for a reason. Or put in my path for a reason. I'm not going to speak to what your existence is. We all have a different core belief system, a core truth system, and that starts in the heart. And that's why I love cacao so much. It really digs into that. It gets into that heart-based belief system, truth system, because really it's the same thing. What is true to you is essentially your beliefs, or feels true, what feels true. And that's the real key, because there's a lot of people with extremely contrasting beliefs or contrasting truths. And I mean, you can see this all the time. Like, I don't know why I'm thinking of Judge Judy. Like, if you've ever seen Judge Judy or any kind of, court thing, usually there's plaintiff, defendant. There's one person saying this person did this, and then this person saying, nah, they did this. And so the truths aren't connected. Like in this scenario where like one person says they did this thing, and this person says, nah, they did this other thing. They're, implying that they're lying essentially. So there's a contrast of truths. There's a dissonance, non-harmony in those different truths. And so what a lot of people tend to think is that, well, only one of them can be true. And yes, there's a physical truth for sure. And that's the point of a court case, like determining the act that was truly done. But when we're talking about beliefs, it's obviously a little different. But the beliefs can play into our perception of physical reality. So if we believe very deeply and strongly a certain way, it can shift how we actually see things happen or interpret things, how they happen. And when mental illness gets involved, then it can get really, really out there. Then the truth of a person can be completely not really true. Like, this is the thing that can happen. I don't think it happens to most people. It doesn't usually get that extreme. But my point is, sometimes our beliefs are built upon a foundation of non-consent. So for instance, a lot of us, most people I would say, had a childhood. Well, most people had a childhood. Everyone had a childhood, but most people had a childhood where they were told what is true, or in some cases even told what to believe, which is a little more extreme. Kind of like being forced to go to church, for instance, if that child or person didn't want to. That's an example. And so, essentially, whether forcefully or even subtly, it could even be very subtle too. And there's a lot of subtle energies involved, especially with childhood, because children are very sensitive, very sensory. Everything, they're like sponges. Everything comes in and goes out. Like, everything's so much more serious. You see this if you watch kids and how they interact, especially like 3 to 10, I would say. Everything's such a big deal. Everything's so much more of a big deal than what adults would say it is. And it's why parents usually are like, you get frustrated. They're like, oh my God, you're being so dramatic about this. And it's like the simplest thing, like juice got spilled or something like that. But this is important for a number of reasons. Inigo agrees. This is important for a number of reasons. Because who we develop into as adults is shaped and formed by those early foundational beliefs and truths that we're told are the truth. And we can always change them. And a lot of people do. This is why you see, like, a lot of times once you get into like teenage years, rebellion tends to happen. That's more of like the rebellious age range for a lot of people, not everyone, and it's almost like this challenging of the beliefs that the parents or the friends or the religion or whatever has laid upon us. And so we start to question all of that and challenge all of that because our brain has developed to a certain point where we're getting into the higher cognition and actually can think more critically and deeply than we could when we were kids, literally because our brain is more developed. And so now we're like, wait, why? And you can see that in kids and teenagers too a lot. They'll ask like, why? And it drives parents crazy because they're like, I don't know, just do it. It's like, because it takes time and energy to explain why. But I think in order to form a solid foundation, explaining why is important. This isn't a parenting lesson. I am not a parent. But anyway, I just feel like that would be helpful. For those of you who don't know, who have not met him yet, this is Inigo. Say hi, Inigo. Say hi to the people. Say hi. He's a long boy, very fuzzy. He's got his winter coat right now that's shedding because it's starting to get hot and it's like a fur factory in here. Anyway, Inigo's my boy. Yeah. Yep. But anyway, so with Cacao, talking more about how ceremonies work, before I go on another spin-off, which happens a lot, but I also believe that if it comes to me and I'm talking about it, that it's important for someone to hear.